Greetings, my dear viewer. Today I would like to talk to you about the first 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. Granted, I'll be the one rambling here mostly, but you are very welcome to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Ever since the Empire, Boba Fett has always been one of the most mysterious and exciting characters of the Star Wars franchise. Despite him only having a few lines of text to say in the original trilogy, he has received massive love from the audience. Mainly for his great-looking armor and menacing vibes radiating from his entire figure. Creators of the prequels realized the potential hidden in Boba's character, gave him a little bit of a backstory, and gave us the greatest sound effect in cinematic history. Later on, Dave Filoni developed young Boba's character some more within the Clone Wars animated series, showing us how the great bounty hunter came to be. I should also mention a series of books and comics dedicated to Boba Fett and his fellow bounty hunters, such as Bosk, Dengar, and Zuckuss. If you like the character or are into Star Wars lore, you've probably already read them, but if not, do give them a shot, they're pretty good. All in all, Boba Fett received way more admiration than I believe George Lucas ever could have predicted. And finally, with the cameo of Temuera Morrison as Boba Fett in The Mandalorian show being welcomed rather warmly, there was no doubt we'll see a spin-off about our favorite bounty hunter clone. The show starts with Boba bathing in a bathtub and reliving moments of his past. Rather symbolically, the director shows us how Boba's mercenary life started, with a shot of him grieving over his fallen father, and straight afterwards, how it nearly ended in the Sarlacc pit. Then we find out how Boba survived the encounter. After using Stormtrooper Corp's rebreather, he tries to evoke an indigestion in Sarlacc, in order, I assume, to provoke Sarlacc into spitting him out. But in fact, apparently Boba burns a hole in the creature's stomach to proceed to dig his way up to the surface. I must say I never took Fett for a Worms fan. Now, I'm feeling a little lukewarm about his, or rather the writer's, selection of means of escaping Sarlacc. I know Boba's jetpack was busted. But what happened to those? I mean, the armor Boba wears is the same one his father wore, only a little more worn after the years and with a new paint job. I'm sure those wrist blades could come in handy. Also, what about that? Surely he could try and use that grappling hook to climb out. All in all, I believe there are better and more creative ways of breaking Boba out of Sarlacc than making him cosplay Worms. But I digress. After a successful jailbreak, or pit break, Boba takes a nap, gets stripped by Jawas, and gets driven into slavery by Tuskens. Talk about getting out of a frying pan. At night, under vigilant watch of a guard dog, or is it an iguana? I don't know, I'll call it a iguana. Boba attempts to escape the Tusken camp, subdues the iguana, but the other slave rats him out. Seeing as the iguana has proven completely useless, Tusken Chieftain unleashes the tribe's most skilled warrior. Sadly, the warrior wasn't given the name, so I'll assume it's a he and give him one. Meet Kurt. Personally, I think it's a brilliant idea to take Tusken Raider design and give him Predator vibes. As badass as Boba is, having sustained grievous wounds and exhausted, he gets his ass handed to him. Back at the Jabba's palace, Boba's spa session is interrupted. The new daimyo of Mos Espa has visitors who have come to pay tribute, yet some tribute bringers appear to be more audacious than others. Basically, Mayor's majordomo tells Boba that the only tribute he bears is the mayor's heartfelt welcome.
But now you come to me and you say, Don Corleone and give me justice. But you don't ask for respect. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather.
After greeting some of his new protege, Boba goes to meet the neighbors and shares his idea of running the criminal empire. Suddenly a bunch of would-be assassins surround the heroes. Boba, what the hell was that? Whatever were you trying to achieve shooting a missile at a force shield at point-blank range? I assumed that Jon Favreau wanted to avoid making Boba feel overpowered, but that's too sharp of a downgrade. First, he doesn't use the equipment at his disposal when it could help. Now, he uses what he has when it not only doesn't help, but it actually makes the situation worse. I mean, look at that explosion. His face at least should get a third-degree burn, but actually I would bet on him dying there. Why not also launch that bigger missile from a jetpack while you're in such a suicidal mood? Wait a minute, why not use the jetpack at all? The assassins don't seem to have any ranged weapons. Also, what is the deal with the attackers? Later we find out that they were sent to kill Boba, but instead they proceed to take turns at tickling him to death. Then Fett's Gamorrean guards show up. Hold up, where were they this whole time? Taking a smoke? Anyway, the Gamorreans show up to save the day. How could the deadliest bounty hunter and a master assassin ever have beaten 6 back alley ninja wannabes cosplaying ancient Roman legion with shields and tickle sticks? Beats me. So, if the shields can stun or even kill on impact, why not bash your target with them? Right, that's how I pictured a cold-blooded, calm and always collected bounty hunter legend to look like. Don't get me wrong, Temuera Morrison is badass, and it's great that he can express emotions so vividly, but I firmly believe that this doesn't quite suit Boba's character. After successfully repelling the attack, Boba tells Fennec to bring one of the escaping assassins back alive. Except, why spare them? How about the 3 other guys lying about? Are you going to tell me that they're dead? After just a couple of hits with those shock staffs? I thought those weren't lethal. If they are, how did Boba and Fennec survive so many hits? Oh, so they have throwing weapons. I assume they aren't using firearms because some Star Wars analog of Bushido restricts them. But even then, why not train a few archers or actual sneaky backstabbing shinobi assassins? They'd have more chances of succeeding than this bunch of wankers. I mean, look, Boba walks the streets of Mos Espa so carelessly, it wouldn't take a trained archer a lot of effort to kill him. And what's with those thrusting attacks? These aren't spears, they're pole axes, or at least glaives. They don't have pointy endings like swords, spears, spikes, and so on. You're supposed to hack and swing with them, not poke. Finally, Fennec manages to capture one of the assassins and Boba takes another bath. I know Temuera Morrison likes his spa, but damn.
One thing I've really missed, the Polynesian spa.
Back in Boba's memories, he and the other slave are taken into the dunes. They stumble upon some raiders robbing the moisture farmer, observe, and walk away. And then the Tusken tells the prisoners to dig for water. Mate, there was a literal fountain of water back at that moisture farm. Just grab something to carry water in and collect it. Anyway, after some digging, the Rodian and Boba manage to find some black melons. Eventually, the Rodian digs up a far family member of Goro from Mortal Kombat. The monster nearly kills the group, but Boba shows us that he's still got it. He and the youngling return back to camp and the locals celebrate. Episode 2 starts with Boba and Fennec interrogating the captive assassin.
What were your orders? Speak, prisoner.
Ichuta!
We spared your life after you tried to take mine.
Yeah, we remember. But as far as I'm concerned, you came closer to taking your own life in that fight than 6 of them combined.
He is of the Order of the Night Wind.
Assassin for hire.
Very expensive.
Overpriced.
Couldn't agree more, love. Fennec gets information out of the assassin, who says that the mayor of Mos Espa hired them. Although I still think that they were hired to prank Boba, not to kill him. You can't seriously tell me that what they did was their best attempt at Boba's life. When Boba and Fennec pay a visit to the mayor, he vaguely denies his connection to the prank, and gives heroes a lead that should point them at the real employer of the assassins. Boba follows the lead and finds out that the so-called twins are interested in claiming what used to be Jabba's, and thus they are the likely culprits. Rather conveniently, the aforementioned Hutts arrive at the same moment. After a brief chat, Boba returns to his Bacta chamber. Damn, Mr. Morrison really does love his spa. There, he reminisces of the time spent with Tuskens again. Look, when Boba appeared in The Mandalorian kicking Stormtrooper ass, we didn't really need that long of an explanation of his mean gaffe stick skills. Anyhow, back in Tusken camp, Boba trains with Kurt, enjoys sunsets, trains some more, but in comes a train and we see another homage to Wild West era. After some tribals die, Boba is moved by the sight of cremated Tuskens, and seeing some bikers pass by, decide to be a good colonial American, stop the genocide of Indians, and produces a plan. He takes arms and follows the bikers to a canteen to expropriate the vehicles. A fight starts. And what do you know, only one of these guys believes in firearms! If I were to travel across the Dune Sea that is presumably swarming with Tuskens, I wouldn't want to be outmatched in technology by local savage tribes, so the second thing I would consider packing would be some ranged weapon. The first thing being an armored transport. Those guys on the train get the idea. I hate to point it out yet another time, but think about this. These 4 random bikers stood a better chance of killing Boba Fett than team of quote-unquote legendary assassins. Boba comes back to Tuskens with trophies and proceeds to teach them to ride speeders. The train arrives again, and Boba's raiders mount their attack. They board the train successfully, but Boba and his comrades get pinned down by the defenders with nowhere to go, until the real hero comes to save the day. Holy hell, this guy is cool. Boba should have hired Kurt instead of those Gamorrean twats as bodyguards. Boba reaches the head car and commands the driver droid to stop the train, but the droid be like,
Fuck this.
and scrams.
Another happy landing.
The train is stopped, sacked, prisoners are negotiated with, and Boba once again is acknowledged by the Tuskens. So much, in fact, that he's accepted into the tribe and has a personal gaffe stick made for him. We have yet to see this story develop further. At the moment of recording this video, only the first 2 episodes had come out, and I personally hope to see more of Boba's fellow bounty hunters, such as Bosk, Dengar and Zuckuss, take part in the future. maybe a cameo of Mandarin Grogu, and of course more of Kurt the Raider. If you haven't seen the show yet, I urge you not to be satisfied with this review alone. Do watch the show, it is worth your time. On this note, let me wrap this review up. I would appreciate if you leave your generous likes, subs, and let me know in the comments below how you feel about the show so far. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and do smile every now and then, would you?